Hold on, my earring fell out. What's up, friends? My name is Keela. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome to Love Keela J. That's my name. Stick around, subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this video. On this episode of Warrington, little Johnny and his mom decided to go on a night adventure. Little Johnny had two rules to follow, and he decided to run off in the woods. "Little Johnny," his mom cried. "Little Johnny, come back. Remember what I said. You have to obey the rules." But instead, little Johnny ran off by himself and decided to discover, and his mom had to find him. Okay, so have you ever been in a situation where you know exactly what God spoke to you, but you just weren't trying to hear it? You were like, nah, I ain't got time. I just gotta go. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wanted to follow instructions, but you didn't. We all have a little piece of Johnny up inside of us. Just a little bit. You can admit it. It's okay. We honest here. In those moments where we're like, God, I know you told me to do something, but God, we can never fully comprehend what's going to happen or why we feel like we should do what God told us to do, because our vision is only like, I just got to do what's next. I just got to do what's right here, what's right in front of me. Where God created everything. He knows what's going to happen in a billion years. Hopefully, we're all in heaven. We're going to be in heaven, y'all. We're going to be in heaven. So our vision is limited. Meanwhile, we're speaking to somebody that's giving us directions that has an unlimited vision. You see what I'm saying? And let me tell you, this is why sometimes when you pray, you feel like, oh, I feel like I need to move to like some random place, or I feel like I really need to break up with this person. Like, this is why you have those feelings, because you prayed and God's giving you instructions and he knows that you need to move because you may be married, you're about to have a baby, the support for you is in that city, or he knows that you're about to stay in a relationship that's about to be emotionally or physically abusive, and he doesn't want you having to deal with that over the next 15 years because he has work for you to do. Or maybe a few months ago, he told you to apply for a higher salary job or for a position that will bring you into a managerial position with a higher pay, because guess what? He knew that some little China, but let's not get into that. That COVID was going to come into the world, and he wanted you and your family to be still taken care of according to that higher paid job position. Come on, let's give it up for God. I'm for real. Let's give it up for God, because it's been those moments where he's told us to do something and we have a little inkling. We're like, I feel like I shouldn't be hanging around these people anymore. I feel like this is not the right place or the time. I feel like I need to just stock up on some extra toilet tissue. No, I'm just playing. In Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 7, there's this passage that Jesus is talking to Israel. And I was reading this, y'all. I was like, Israel better get it together, honey. And then I started to think about all the stuff that God had told me to do. And I was like, let me just read. Okay, so it says, "Then I said to them, each of you get rid of the vile images you are so obsessed with. Do not defile yourselves with the idols of Egypt, for I am the Lord your God." Doesn't that sound familiar? Can you relate when God was like, Tisha, Keela, get rid of that boy's number in your phone because it's vile. Maybe he didn't use vile, but you know what I'm saying. See, Israel thought that they were good. They thought that they could just get away, doing what they wanted, honey, worshiping their idols, doing what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Okay, next. They really thought that they could just live their lives and then not have any effect on them. Like, I'm just going to do what this is because this feels good right now. I like these idols. I like these things. I like that I can feel it, that I can touch it. Everybody else is doing it and they're being praised. They're being worshiped. I like it, and they didn't see anything wrong with it. I want to ask you right now, are you underestimating God's loving guidance in your life? Here's what really shook me, y'all. Like, really, I was like, oh, shut up. In Ezekiel 20, verse 6, it says, "I took a solemn oath that day that I would bring them out of Egypt to a land I had discovered and explored for them a good land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the best of all lands anywhere, the best. He said, I searched. God said, I searched my land to find the very best, the choice place for my people. But then when I asked you to spend time with me every day at 5 a.m., you hit snooze. When I ask you to wait to have sex until the time is right, you give in every time. When I ask you to be patient until I ask you to move to the city that I have for you, the land that I had prepared for you, you pick up and you just go because you are ready to move. Or vice versa. You stay when God says move. What God wants is our obedience. It says this time and time again in the word, but it even says it in this one chapter 6 times in my version. 6 times. 6 times. God says, if you just would obey me, I will give you life. If they would have obeyed me, they would not be in this situation. If only you will obey me, I will send you. If only you will obey me. God says, if only you will obey me. What happens when we obey God? See, what little Johnny didn't know is that his mama had arranged already to give Johnny a bike that he's been asking for. Come on, y'all, this'll preach. Little Johnny had been asking for a bike. And his mom said, I'm gonna use this opportunity to see if little Johnny is ready for this bike. So I'm gonna give him 2 rules. And before they went on that walk, she said, don't walk ahead of me and don't run into the woods. Johnny had 2 things to be obedient to. And if he was obedient, then he would receive the blessing of the bicycle. Now we know what happens. My question is, what does God want to bless you with? What has God been searching the world to bless you with? What is the good land that God has prepared for you, your family, your inheritance? Through Christ, God promises us life. But it is a willingness to be obedient that determines the blessings, the gifts, the favor that God wants to shine on your life and your family's life. Until we see each other next time, guys. But in the meantime, grab your copy of Faith Strut. It's your journey and your journal to get through things like doubt, worry, insecurity, fear, and get through challenges that you're facing in your life, obstacles, big decisions. This is for you. And for my gift for you, thanks for getting to the end of this video, is a 5% off code that you can use on Amazon. Please take this advantage and grow with God in your faith. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video.